in your mind, why do we have an Earth Day? Why has this been going on now for the last 40 years?
In my mind, a big component of it was the river catching on fire in Ohio.
That
plus the
Lake Erie. I lived there when that happened, as a matter of fact. It was exciting.
That and the big oil spill off Santa Barbara, I think, really galvanized people. I think it's lost some momentum, kind of because it's become institutionalized or whatever. But I get a sense that there is a growing awareness and movement among young people, and that's going to re-galvanize us, and that seems to be around climate change. The older folks, there's a lot of denial about it, but young people seem to be very aware about their scary future. And so that is giving me a sense that there's going to be a revitalization about Earth Day and what it means in terms of protecting the environment that sustains all of us.
So I was interested to hear you say about younger people taking note of Earth Day and the environment change. What has made you make that kind of observation? I mean, these days, kids are so into the now and the instant and the technology. Are they really looking at our environment and taking care of it?
I'm not terribly inspired, I guess, by local. I don't see that happening locally, but through the internet and through Facebook, there was a big gathering last weekend called Power Shift, and it was focused around climate change, and there were 10,000 young people from around the country demonstrating in Washington. So, I found that really exciting.
Going back to what you were saying about locally, so you don't feel like we're very up on ecological movements in Sierra Vista? Are we talking about Sierra Vista, Cochise County, Fort Huachuca?
In some sense, all of the above. In some ways, I think we're an unusual community. We're composed of active duty military, all of the support functions that go with it for civil service, and then retired people. And so there aren't a lot of young families. We do see them, but I think they're military and they're here short term. So they don't feel as much of a connection, I think, to the area. They come from somewhere else and they're going back to somewhere else.
So you think you need that kind of connection to an area to be aware of the earth and its natural resources? Don't you carry that with you from location to location?
Obviously, we think you should. It would make some sense. Obviously, the earth sustains you wherever you are. I think people don't pay as much attention to things like water use in the desert if you came from Illinois, where watering and having a green lawn.
Lakes.
Yeah, right. Having a green lawn didn't mean anything because it was easy. And so if you're only here a short time, you don't learn about what naturally lives here and belongs here. You tend to bring it with you and impose it. So you want your green lawns and your roses.
It's easy to be a good environmental steward in Sierra Vista, Arizona, much easier than it is in some big cities.
That's true to some extent.
Yeah.
The city has improved its recycling. I know that they got a lot of grousing when they didn't have it, and then when they started it, it was limited. And it still has some limits on it. But they're doing it, and they're doing curbside pickup, which is good.